Okay, we're back. I officially have every single faction in the game. Feels really nice to actually have them all unlocked. Let me show you all of the new ones. Alright, I mean, this is just a world for now. So, they added the capybara to the game. Pretty sweet. Um, they added the llama, they added the goat, the ostrich, and the penguin. And as far as I can tell, only the ostrich does not have a new um yeah, like a new, like, I don't know what you call it, like civilization for them. uh they also added the armadillo and the raccoon. So first for the new faction, so they also have, okay, now you can spawn in flower bud, the slug, but it changes from map to map, which is kind of weird. S'more, acid blob, garl, which is in the garlic biome, and the crystal sword. And then here we got this one, the flower bud turns into the Luliar. So that's who they turn into. Then you have the lemon man, which spawns in from the lemon biome. I think you can turn these guys turn into the lemon men. 'Cause look, they have a little tiny lemon shell. The candy man comes from the s'more, which is from the candy biome. The crystal sword turns into the crystal golem. And all of these, they can all build unique houses and everything. The Garl turns into the Garlic Man. So I think we're going to have some Garlic Man, Lemon Man battles. We'll see that coming up. And then the Acid Blob just turns into the Acid Gentleman. So that's pretty sweet. And then we go all the way over here. And look, I don't know what this is, but it's not that important. It can't turn it into anything, so it's whatever. And I also, there's these guys right here. And I've been working on this achievement for a while. But I don't know how to get this achievement. Ancient War of Geometry and Evil. Yeah, I've been looking at it for a while. Then we got Meowmorph, which is pretty sweet. It's the cat civilization. Dog civilization is the bark folk. Then we got the Peck Lord, the Hopper, obviously chicken and rabbit. The monkey, obviously the monkey. I think Mankey is better, but whatever. The Slypaw, which are foxes. The Bakken, which I believe are sheep, but he looks super badass. The Mutar, which is based off the cow. The Armadillo, which is the armadillo, but it's in person form. The Howler, Wolf, Granth, which is the bear, Amarok, which is the rhino, Buffaloon, or Buffalon, which is the buffalo, the Lulclaw, which is the hyena, the Nibbling, which is the rat, Llama is Jamaica, Chilbara, he's sweet, look, he's just sitting there like crisscross applesauce. And this is the Capybara, the Herdor, which is the goat. You have Coolbeak, penguins, and then these are the last ones right here. The Krablin, which is a crab, obviously. Scorp, obviously scorpion. Turlock, look, they got the full, like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles vibe going on. I think it's sweet. Which is the turtle, obviously. The reptiloid. Which is the crocodile. The Snock, which is the snake. Ribbit, which is the frog. And the napkin. So if you want to see how to do this, well, first you go all the way over to Discord, or they posted it other places. I think it's also on Steam. Let's actually do the Steam one because that one will be easier. And then you just go to the home, your library, to the home thing. Open beta is live. Boom, boom. Okay, you want to do this. This is if you have PC. If you're on a phone or anything, mobile or anything else, it won't work. You go to properties, you go to betas, you enter in the code that it says there, and then you select, it just drops down and you select that one. So that's how you do that. And then how you get each faction is what you're gonna want to do. So you see right here they have the monolith. And I like going into Sonic Speed for all this and fast spawn because they don't always work. Sometimes if you spawn a dog in and you want the dog people, you can't get them automatically. Sometimes they'll just be dogs that make their houses, which I think is pretty sweet, but it's also a bit of a pain in the ass. So you can do that. You place the monolith down, and if you're gonna watch, let me go into 5 speed, just because it takes a little bit to do it. It keeps having this little thing that shoots off of it. Now anything that you place in there, it will add genetics. So let's add some sheep here, and it will add all kinds of things. So watch, I'm just spawning some sheep. Like the average one just has Miracle Born. That one's a giant. Miracle Born, short-sighted. Miracle Born's just because I spawned him in. Obviously that didn't go off. This is why I like what I like to do. Fast spawn, Sonic Speed. Spawn a bunch of sheep in here. Play, and see hit a couple. And now see this is what happens though. This one actually worked. These are actually the sheep people, so we'll kind of see them kind of come together. They're fighting someone for some reason. I think they're fighting the other sheep, or the wolves, or whatever. But anyways, that's how you end up getting the new ones. So look, here we go. There's one. So what you have to do from there is you click on the species, bang, you have it. Look how in depth this goes. You have all this stuff. Subspecies editor, you can choose how big the population is. You can look at all their traits. Obviously, I haven't unlocked every one of the traits so far. You kind of just got to spend a while, so all like spamming all these, going over with your cursor and just going over each one. But I have a good amount so far. Obviously, I don't have this one. Down creatures that exhibit. Okay, so I need to track down Greg. So Greg, obviously, you turn in debug mode, and there's a button where you can spawn in Greg. I have some of these colors unlocked. Look, you can kind of change the color of the species right here. I think it's pretty sweet. There's a lot more. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to create a new one in the cubicles, and we're going to spawn in each one. Or actually, let's just create a completely new one, fresh, and we're going to spawn in each different group. So let's do Titanic. Screw the lag. It's not going to be that bad. And we don't need any. We'll have some water because I don't know if they actually do anything fancy like with boats and stuff. So we're gonna just make squares. Let's actually get into Worldbox first. So what I like to do also when you're spawning them in, I like to turn on peaceful monsters and turn off animal spawns unless you're trying to find the new animals. But I'm just gonna leave those off so we can kind of watch what happens. Turn off hunger so we can watch what happens. We don't have to worry about it. We're gonna turn off disasters too. They're just annoying. I don't need the evolution events, but I can have them on anyways, just in case. I don't love biome overgrowth. And we're gonna do them all in the plains biome, just keep it simple. Yeah, so I start the world going. It's gonna get some sand on the outside, so we're just gonna go around. That's one. Let's see how many do I have to do. They added a lot. We still have these 4. We're gonna put them in, so that's 4. Over here, 10. They added a ton, man. 17, 21, 25, 27, 29, 32. So we're gonna have to make 32 of these. Wow, that's a lot. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I know it's not pretty, but we're just gonna have to make do. 8, 9, 10. The cats are probably my favorite right now. They're all Egyptian style. 11, 12. We're gonna have to make a little one right here. 13. Put like humans there. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, I guess we're just showing off some of them right now because there's a lot more than I expected. You know, it would actually even be smarter. It's like, let's fill in this whole thing, and we can split it up actually a lot more evenly, and then go from there. I know this part is going to take a second, so it's kind of boring, but this is just so you guys can see every single different group of the new ones. And they're full, like every new building that they have. We're going to turn off Sonic Speed 2 and fast spawn. We're just gonna go around and add this soil in, then we're gonna split them all up with some water, and it's gonna be nice. So for 32, we're gonna make a grid. Let's use the square brush right after this. Obviously there's some particles that are gonna be a little messed up, but I think that looks overall pretty good. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Alright, so we're just gonna take the square brush right here, go through with the water. We could actually use a bigger one because we want some space in between them. So, there we go. Okay, this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think we need 8 if we're gonna do this size. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're gonna need 8 by that way. Okay, we're gonna have some little ones right here. Bang, bang. So we're just gonna follow this all the way across. Now these lines aren't great, but I'm just trying to make it quick so you guys can kind of see them as soon as possible. So this is gonna be a little, not the prettiest to look at, but you know I'm not doing this for YouTube. I'm just doing this for you guys. So bang, and one more, bang. Little tiny guys over here. I'm sorry to whoever those are. We're just gonna fill these in with some water over here so they can kind of fill up in time. This one we will actually use sonic speed for. We're just gonna water the whole thing in. We're gonna do this like this. We don't need any forest. It's gonna start filling in here. And then we're gonna start plopping them in so then you guys can see all of the new ones. And I think, yeah, rocks and ores are all gonna spawn in. Trees are gonna spawn in too. We're actually gonna look. They have new laws too, so you can grow fast. Where is it? Trees grow fast, which is nice too. All right, let's start. Are you guys ready? Let's just plop in a couple more trees just to speed it up, because we don't want to watch them forever. Cutting down or wait for trees to grow. All right, off sonic speed. All right, first let's just get the dumb ones out of the way. We'll put them in the corner on the little smallest islands. Everyone's least favorite. We'll just start in the humans. They have new animations and all that. I think it's pretty sweet. Let's just get some. Look, the trees aren't really evenly distributed over here. Still, it's yeah. I found that trees place a lot slower than they used to. Like, watch. See, they kind of like trickle down. So instead of like kind of spreading really well, that's kind of annoying. But all right, there we go. So humans, elves, orcs, dwarves. If you're not new to the game, you should know all these. They carry a new flag around, which I think is sweet. And look, new colors. So look, these guys are gray. So you have all these colors. We can make them any color you want. I'm just going to change them to whatever. Alright. Now, for the first new one. Right here. Luliar. Let's look at them. So they're going to go orange. And we're going to check back in on them, so don't worry. I want to put the garlic man next to each other, so let's do these. Wow, that one's huge. So this is the crystals. And like you kind of just have to go through every time and see, okay, now I'm unlocking a couple more colors. But yeah, they're slower, so I don't know if you can see. It's gotta be some, okay, right here. Speed is only 5. Let's now like compare that to them. So like same thing, you go over here, you can click on their species too and see all that. But I just want to see their main info. Speed 7, so these guys are a little bit faster. Alright, now we're gonna put the lemon men up here. This is been a long time favorite of the community. Look, these guys are sweet. Look, this guy has like a big head, the weird head. Some of them have big, long, pointy noses. Let's see if I can find one right here. This guy, we're gonna favorite him because I think he's hilarious. How do I? Oh, yeah, I click. I think I haven't checked. I just not punch him in the face, which is chill. There we go. There we go. We're gonna favorite him, and we are gonna edit his traits. We want to make him immortal so we can see him for a long time. So right here, bang. Okay, there we go. There's the lemon man. Now, we are going to add the garlic man. So these guys are a little different looking. Look at those guys. They're sweet. Look, you got a little bandana on one, a crown on the other. Look, they got new they make new reactions to each other. See, I don't know what they're talking about, but they're talking about whatever. Let's go down to Candyman. So look at these guys. These are pretty sweet. Look, this guy has hair on him and a whole thing. So you got village layer, kingdom layer, clan layer, culture layer, subspecies, language. We're super fancy out here. Look, this guy has a little crown on. Evil, flesh eater. That's kind of funny for a cookie. Okay, shut up. Okay, this guy's just saying candy in my ear. And then we'll add in these acid gentlemen. So for people that don't know about acid, what you have to do is you have to drop a bunch of nukes on your map. It'll have a wasteland biome, and these guys can spawn in. So look at them; they're pretty sweet. I don't even know where the music went. Yeah, I don't know where that went, but yeah, see the music's on and everything. But I guess we don't need music right now. Now some of my favorites in the animal ones. This is say Meowmorph, which I think they're super sweet. And as you can see, there's like this little DNA thing that pulls. I think that's where their DNA is based off of. But I think they're super sweet. Now we're gonna add in the Bark Folk dogs. I think this will be a fan favorite. These guys are pretty legit. They're just, yeah, they're really cool. Let's see, I want them to actually build it. There we go. There's the thing. Let's turn on Kingdom Layer so we can see what they name it. Oh, it's on. Yeah, Waff. Very fitting name for them. Now the Peck Lord chickens. They're gonna get this huge price. Look at them. They're sweet. Like, look at all this variation in each of the chickens. I think it's pretty sweet how they do that. This guy's maybe the king. Let's see, where is it? Kingdom layer right here. Yeah, let's see their king. Yep, that's him. That's their king. Like, unique crown for each species. I just think is super sweet. Let's move on to the next one because there's a lot to go through. Then you got the hopper. And now we're gonna go back to a previous one just so you can see it. Where is it? Yeah, here's where they start storing all their stuff right here. It's a new building that they added. I think it's pretty sweet. And then you have Monkey, which might be my favorite. I think it should be Mankey, as I said, but it's okay. I mean, they're keeping the update. So whatever they want to name them. These guys are sweet. I think I hope they all just say. Do we have any extra villages here? No, okay, they're all sticking to the same group. That's good. And then we got the Slypaw, the foxes. Right here, there's their new village. Fian, the Bakken. Sheep. These guys are sweet. Like, look, mohawk here, no hair, a lot of, like, an afro. I really like how they changed all of that. I think that's sweet. And then we got the Mutar, the cows. I haven't even looked at these guys yet, really. Yeah, look at that crown. See, custom crowns on every single one, which is sweet. Like, this guy has the full, like, golden horns, golden part in the middle. It's pretty sweet. And then we got the Aldemar, which is the armadillo. These guys were really hard to find. What I recommend doing, I'm not actually going to create a new one. Can I see the new options? Yeah. So what I recommend doing is making a large cubicle world, an iceberg size, and just letting times like run super long, and turning on Sonic speed, and just eventually they have this new tab right here. If you turn on special animals so they don't kill each other and everything, you can check the subspecies and you can scroll through and see what new animals you unlocked and go through. That's how I found the raccoon and the armadillo, so that's super helpful. It's just good to kind of know which ones there are in the game as well. And just so you know, the raccoon does not turn into anything, and the ostrich doesn't turn anything. Raccoon actually, if you use the monolith, the raccoon can turn into the bandit. Let's see, where is bandit right here? But they can't turn into any like civilization. Also, for aliens, you shoot down a UFO, you get an alien egg out, it hatches. So there's that. Let's Howler. Um, I feel like this could be really good for people that want to make like a, I don't know, like a Zootopia thing. Let's see their crown. He just has a little dick crown. Yeah, that's pretty funny, but they're pretty cool. The bears. I'm not gonna say all their names, but the bears. These guys are actually super sweet. They're just huge. I just spawned them randomly, I guess, but it's true. Please build a kingdom. I will get back to them. The rhinos. Looks like they found it. The rhinos are sweet. Like, look how buff these. They're fighting. They're angry over something, I guess. I think they're fighting over King. I think he's gonna win. No, it's back and forth. Yeah, see, a tantrum. He's throwing a tantrum. That's what it is. I think that's very cool. Yeah, and then we got the buffaloon. Buffalon. Again, kind of a similar thing, right? Buffaloes, rhinos, very similar. The lolclaw, right here. These are the hyenas. They're pretty sweet. That crown is legit, right? Like they're sweet. I think they're gonna look really good in this update. The nibbling, I'm actually really excited for. I think that, like, I don't know if you guys have played Warhammer, but you know, rats in Warhammer. I think you can make something sweet with that. But like, so like, even if you wanted to change this to more one of those colors, you can go through here. Where's the species? There we go. Where's the rat one? I think it's the bunnies. Yeah, here. And then where's the traits? There's some. Yeah, it's species editor. You go all the way down, and let's say I want to change them to gray. Boom, they're gray. And look, everything, they're all gray. Some of them get knocked out when you do that, but they're fine. So that's pretty sweet. Let's keep going. We still have a couple more to go. The Charmanca, which is the llama. These guys just seem pretty chill. The llama's just warning. I think that since it's a beta, they haven't like measured everything out. So they spawn like so many times in your world. That's why I like turning off animal spawns, is because it kind of messes with that because it just keeps spawning them. And look how many more we have to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 more to go. I don't even know if we have enough islands. We might have to kick the humans and whatever off one, but there's the capybaras, the chilbara. Look at that crown. It's so sweet. Let's get the goats. See, look, these guys are pretty sweet. I mean, I think the giant trait spawns a lot more. That's the new thing that they do. I'm not sure. Cool beak. I feel bad putting the penguins on kind of a warmer place. But look, these guys are so sick. This guy's little, like, look at the hair. One has like, look at that. That's the king is just so sick. That's sick. Okay, we're getting into the final groups. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more islands. 7, 8. Wow, I'm way off. I'm missing a lot. 8 more islands, and oh, perfect. 7 more. So here's the crablin, little crab. These guys are pretty sweet. I mean, obviously they look way more buff here, but look at that crown, like go up and down. It's pretty sweet. Then the scorpions. This is also a newer one to the game, but they're super easy to find. And then we got beaches and deserts. They'll just pop up. You're actually, I'm kind of tired of them. Then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Right here. Look at him. Look at this giant one right here. Dude, that guy's huge. Oh, they also have unicorns. They have new biomes, which we can show off in a second here. Let's move right on to, yeah, we reptiloid. Let's get these crocodiles in. These guys are sweet. The funny thing is, if you actually, so like I told you guys earlier, you don't just because you place the monolith doesn't mean they turn into the subspecies automatically. Sometimes they just colonize. But if you do it right, just like every single crocodile will just be the tail. Like they won't show their bodies. They'll just be a tail, and they'll like live and like build stuff. All right, then the snakes. Boom, plop them in. It's gonna end up being perfect. Yeah, I didn't even do math on it, but then we got the ribbits, the frogs. These are actually the first ones I unlocked. Pretty sweet. And then the napkin, which these guys are a little bit more difficult because piranhas like to swim, so you have to have no water on the map or they'll go towards it. They're pretty sweet. So should we let this sit, do you guys think? Or you guys can comment and just say, yeah, we'll just show, look how many layers there are. We'll do the kingdom layer. We'll just start going back slowly through them. So humans, obviously, you guys have seen it. They have worked on like how they build. I think they build roads a lot earlier. The elves, whatever. Dwarves, see, like the dwarves don't usually build roads this fast. Let's get to the first one. So look, they have little flowers that they live in. All over the place, like a little flower windmill right here, which I think is pretty sweet. Custom windmills on all of them too. They don't have a windmill yet, but these are the, oh yeah, they do. These are the crystal people. Look at that. It's just such a sick update overall. It's just such a cool update. New windmill, and let's go all the way back down to the wolves. So look, they got kind of like little dog houses. A lot, like if you want to see, very similar to the human houses. But they all have water bowls and a little leash, so I think that's pretty funny. And a little bone windmill, which is so sick. A lot of them have like woof, waff, warf, or waff, waff, woof, waff, waff, woof. Like they have pretty basic names. I think they gotta work on that a little bit. But look, they have like little doors and ramps up it. It's sick. Next one, the cats. I think this is one of my favorites. I just really like the style. Obviously, it looks a lot like those cat houses that you have, little place structures, and a very simpler like scratching post windmill, but it's still pretty sick. Surrounded the slimes. I don't even know what these are. These houses, like, it looks like kind of like sewage pipes, maybe. Let's see. Have they built a windmill? Yes. That's like an industrial windmill. It's pretty sick. These guys are pretty funny. I think some of them have mustaches. Like this guy got a little propeller hat. Yeah, the king has a big beard. That guy is sick. Look at their flag. Like that is so sick. Look, it kind of moves with my mouse. You can see ruler's money, tribute, alliance, capital, clan, culture, religion, all this stuff. Yeah, and then we got over here. We got the cookie guys again. Like a little cookie windmill, candy houses, right? Very predictable, but also I just think so sick. I don't know if they've updated like bows and swords, but I do know now if you want, you can edit what weapons there are. There's a cool thing. Where is it? It might be here. One of the tabs. I'm not gonna get too into it. I think it's right here, maybe. Anyways, there's a tab where you can just hit. Okay, I'm gonna zoom out so I don't listen to that the whole time. But right here, loot rain. You can customize the loot. This was in a lot of mods early on, but you can customize the loot. Like, let's say I want some leather helmets, and I can loot rain. I'm just gonna do a little small one. I'm gonna give one guy a little leather helmet. This guy right here. But you're gonna see this guy now has a leather helmet. So this is gonna be super sweet for YouTubers and videos and stuff like that. We got the onion people. They all have their little onion houses. Pretty sick. Little ramp up there. Little onion with the actual windmill part up there. And the top part of the onion. And we got my favorite, the lemon people. Everyone keeps getting knocked over. I don't know what that's about. I don't know. Can you turn it off? Worldbox. Let's see. Tripping. No, I don't know, but tripping's kind of annoying. I think that these guys are just naturally clumsy, maybe? Yeah, these are all clumsy people. Like, look at, yo, this guy's a Giga Chad, yo. Look at this dude. What's his name? Malolo. Dude, this guy, look at how he just walks, yo. Dude, he's sick. He needs a social recovery. He's tired of talking to all these people. But yeah, these guys are sick. Like, this guy already has a reaver. They've just been working on the cultures overall. They just build faster. You can also add walls now if you want. Like it's right here. Your wooden wall, iron wall, the wall of evil, wall of light, green wall, ancient wall, stone wall. So you have a lot of options there. Um, yeah, just overall sick piranhas. They have these sick little houses, like little dead piranhas, bones and everything. Um, sheep, very simple sheep houses. Wait, did the piranhas have a windmill? Yeah, they did. It's little oars. Um, boom. The sheep, very simple. Kind of mountainous kind of look vibes, but I think it's pretty cool. Um, you got the foxes, little fox huts.
Oh, wow.
Simple windmill, nothing crazy. Super sweet. Look at this king right here. I mean, that's sweet. 32 years old. You can now see lifespans too. That's awesome.
Yeah.
These are the monkeys. Look, they live in little stumps and trees and everything like Donkey Kong. It's pretty sweet. They always wonder about poop for some reason, but look, this guy already has a steel spear. Like, I know they have steel on the island, but they already are harvesting that and making weapons. I think that's a big improvement. You got the rabbit people, little rabbit huts, very simple. These ones, a lot of these early ones are very simple and similar. You got the chicken people. One of my favorites. I just think they're super funny looking and sick. But very like coop looking houses. I don't think they have custom mines, unfortunately, but they look very simple, very similar, right? You've seen it a lot. Windmill. Now these are super unique. The bison. Look at these houses. The windmill's pretty simple, but it's very nice. These houses are pretty sick. You get up to the rhinos. They live in like these full metal, or full stone houses. We keep going up. These wolves live in little bone houses. Super sick. Windmill right here again. You go back. You got the armadillos. Oh, actually, a pretty unique windmill. I don't know what it is, but it seems pretty sick. A lot of hanging stuff, right? And obviously, this goes more late game, and they build all these better houses. But I just want to show you kind of the idea, and you can kind of see for yourself as they get bigger. The cow is very similar to the bison, so a little. I guess the bison are less unique than I thought, but it's still pretty sick. We get over to the frogs. Pretty sick frog houses. A lot of like, I don't know if this is underground or whatever, but it's super sick. The goats, like mountainous goats, mountain goats, they have their little mountain houses, little mountain windmill. Okay, let's turn that off. So yeah, you can actually turn this off. Just set it to Age of Hope, set it to pause, boom. I don't want to be in night. The armadillos. I mean, very similar houses to, or these are the capybaras. The capybaras very similar houses to, was it the armadillos or who was it? Yeah, no, the foxes. Very similar. Look at the fox houses. The armadillos. I think there's some slight differences, but again, very similar. And then the windmill. The bears. Sick, like lush bears. And they actually change in the winter, in the cold. They have new houses. And then it's sweet windmill. The rats, very kind of, I think like weird looking rundown houses, right? Like little holes in the windmills and stuff. The Again, we go back to the hyenas, kind of like the orcs. Pretty sweet looking houses though. Pretty sweet windmill. I like how it kind of looks like it's just like dragging along the scraps. Then we got the snakes, little snake egg houses. They do not have a windmill yet. Let's actually Sonic speed that so we can get to the point where they're at a windmill, but we'll go back down to that in a second. Yeah, we gotta come back to these guys in a second. But here we go. Let's slow it back down in a second. But these are the scorpions. I think they're pretty sick. Like little scorpion-shaped houses. Let's get out of Sonic speed. Super sick windmills. The crabs looking like living in coral. Super, like one of my favorite windmills that they've added. And then we've got the penguins. These shields that they have, super sick. Like little snow houses, windmill. And then we can finally go back down. I think, yeah, here we go. Now there's a windmill here with the, are these long, no, what are these? The turtles, there we go. He's just so big I couldn't tell. The turtle people, shell houses, right? Kind of what you expect. Sweet windmill though, like the shorter style. We got like crocodiles, kind of torn up swamp style swamp windmill. And yeah, back down to the snake. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching. I just wanted to show you guys all this and all the new information. I feel like no one else was making a video on it. And like I said, you can, for getting a new one, plop down a monolith, pop down the population around it. I recommend pausing the time, doing fast spawn and Sonic Seed. So, and then they blow up. You try to pause the game right after they do so. Let's just take in this beautiful windmill. Like, you slow it down, pause it, click on the species. You're like, oh, that's a new species. You kind of just hover over it, hover over the colors and all that, and you unlock new species. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Yeah.